Oh, there's no other way but the vein. Gotta burn to learn. No other way but the vein. Gotta burn to learn. If you ain't got the vein, shut your face. Ain't qualified to speak. If you ain't got the spirit and the fire, you're just a controlling freak.
Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. Welcome to the Terrace Talk, and today I'm going to talk on a word called weak. In our weaknesses. Yahusha spoke of weak and weakness quite a bit in the word, and I just want to see what it tells us and what we're talking about. In the Hebrew, it says to droop, by implication to be sick, to mourn, languish, be weak, wax feeble, sick, weak. Dangling, that is, by implication, weak or thin, lean, needy, poor man, weaker. To walk, all along, apace, behave self. Come on, continually, be conversant, depart, and be eased, enter, exercise, self, follow, forth, forward, get, go, abroad, along, away, forward, on, out, up and down, and greater, grow, be wont, to haunt, lead, march, more and more, move, self, needs on, pass away, be at the point, quite, run along, a talebearer, a traveller, walk abroad, on, to and fro, up and down, to places, wander, wax, way, faring, man, be weak, world. All that travelling, all that makes you weak. I remember when I was very young, I travelled the world searching and searching for something that was missing inside me, and that search and that seeking and that haunting, needy way, wanting something to find something better than the way I was brought up. To be rubbed or worn, hence figuratively to be weak, sick, afflicted, or causatively to grieve, make sick, also to stroke, in flattering, entreat, beseech, be diseased, put to grief, be grieved, be grievous, infirmity, entreat, lay to, put to pain, pray, make prayer, be, fall, make sick, sore, be sorry, make suit, supplication, woman in travail, to be, become weak, be wounded, to despond, causively to rebuke, or of light, the eye, to grow dull, your eyes are grow dull, darken, be dim, fail, faint, restrain, utterly, to totter or waver through weakness of the legs, especially the ankle, by implication to falter, stumble, faint or fall, bereave from the margin, cast down, be decayed, cause to fail, cause make to fall down, falling, feeble, be the ruined of, be overthrown, cause to stumble, utterly, be weak, to slacken in the body and or mind, abate, cease, consume, forsake, idle, leave, let alone, go down, be slack, stay, be still, be slothful, be weak. This is the condition, I think, of mankind, how we are. This is how we are, how we live, what we go through growing up in society, in our lives. This condition, the weakness of mankind. So I'd just like to look up some scriptures to show more of how Yahusha feels about weakness. In 1 Corinthians 1:27, but Elohim chose the foolish things of the world that he might put to shame those who are wise. Elohim chose the weak things of the world that he might put to shame the things that are strong. He has chosen those weak things. He knows our weaknesses. He chose us in our weaknesses to put to shame those who are wise. So we don't have to clamber up that path and fill ourselves with all those knowledges of worldly ways. That's what I've done. I've thought that I need to be strong. I have to be strong. In 1 Corinthians 2:3 it says, I was with you in weakness, in fear, and in much trembling. That's how Yahusha is. He's with us. In 1 Corinthians 4:10, we are fools for Messiah's sake, but you are wise in Messiah. We are weak, but you are strong. You have honor, but we have dishonor. This is our state. This has been my state, and it's just a shame, and it's horrendous. And looking forward, we can see what Yahusha's been bringing us through and causing all these things happening, consequences that have happened to us through our lives, bringing us to this point. In 2 Corinthians 12, but he said to me, my favor is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. His favor is sufficient. The Bible says his grace is sufficient, but it's his favor is sufficient. Yahusha's favor, he is happy with you. His kindness and his love is with you, for his power is made perfect in our weakness. So while we are weak, he is strong. His power is made perfect in our weakness. That's a juxtaposition. That's the opposite. How can we see that opposite happening? Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, so that Messiah's power may rest on me. That is why, for Yahusha's sake, I delight in weaknesses, in insults, in hardships, in persecutions, in difficulties. For when I am weak, then I am strong. This is a bit different to how we really think. In Isaiah 40, he says, he gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. This is our state. This is where Yahusha says he wants us to go. Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you, in 1 Peter. Matthew 11 says, come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Romans 8, in the same way the Spirit helps us in our weakness. We do not know what we ought to pray for, but for the Spirit himself intercedes for us through wordless groans. You've been in that state where you don't know where to go, what to do next. I have, that's for sure, and you just are at your wits' ends and you think, what's happening? Where do I go to next? I've tried so hard, but Yahusha says this is the way. His Spirit helps us in our weakness. Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through him who gives me strength. These are his words, and this is the truth. Take it into our hearts. Hebrews 4:15, for we do not have a high priest who is unable to empathize with our weaknesses, but we have one who has been tempted in every way, just as we are, yet he did not sin. He did all that for us. He came and he took on sin and did all that and became weak so we can be strong. Yahusha in the summaries telling us so many things that we have in our hearts, and he wants to cleanse us. I have been the weakest, most gutless person, never wanting to speak out or ruffle feathers, and went along with everyone to keep the peace. This has been my journey. This leads to a deep depression and a prison, my whole being locked down to destroy me. Little did I know I had a spirit in my flesh controlling me and being used to hurt and disappoint all the time. Nothing was working. Despair in that state. In that state, Yahusha came to me and loved me. From then on, I tried to prove myself to everyone that I had Yahusha on my side, but the way I wanted. I was going to prove that I wasn't that weak failure of a person. He was on my side, taking his word to prove I was right, and yet keeping my inward desires that I will show them I can overcome this flesh. See, it was all me, showing people and proving that I can do it. Then the cauldron fire came on me, and pain and heartache. Still, I have been determined to fight Yahusha and his word to prove that I was right. This battle has been ongoing, lifting myself, competing and determined to prove myself, not realizing the spirit in my flesh was controlling me. These scriptures show me my condition and how to behave towards Yahusha. These scriptures are pretty real and so uplifting and so amazing. Who do I think I am? Yahusha wants to deliver me from this state and showed me in my weakness he is strong. It is only his spirit that can make a difference, not me. It's him, to give over to him, to let him take full control, shut myself down, be humble and be concerned for others. Listen to that still small voice inside. That's what he's saying. Look at the condition of mankind and how we consider ourselves towards our Maker. But we are weak, feeble, frail, grieved, and in need of a deliverer. How can we get out of this state? This is the state of mankind. Not by fighting each other, climbing the ladder, or knocking others down. That's how it's been, the mentality, the worldly mentality of achieving and getting there and fighting, and then we just transfer that over to our belief system and think that we can just manipulate Yahusha to how we want. I need to give in to Yahusha's hand on me and drop all my preconceived ideas about him, about myself, and what other people think of me. That's what I need to do. Cast your cares on him, he says. Come to me, all you who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you the rest, the peace. This is where I'm going. He gives strength, he cares, he will strengthen. His love will melt our stony hard hearts to deliver us. Let's run to him, brothers and sisters. He says his favour is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. We need to hear his voice, his still voice, not what we think, not go racing off in our own direction, thinking we can achieve, we can do this. This is our way. This is our way. We need to listen to that still small voice. Yahusha wants to humble us, put us in that place where we can see. Otherwise, we're blind and we can't see Yahusha, our Elohim. Be still, brothers and sisters, and be humble in that place where we can come into, if we don't fight to lift ourselves up and want to be preeminent, want to have attention, want to be recognized, want to have the reign, want to have something for ourselves. Yahusha has done everything for us. We just need to give in to him. We need to see our frailty. We need to see who we are, how feeble we are. Compared to our Creator, who are we? He could strike us down in an instant, and yet He endures. He will be there, and He's striving with His chosen. He wants us to come through and be delivered. We can't get delivered by ourselves. We need His Spirit. That's how we need what we need to come to. His Spirit coming into us, fighting our way, fighting with all our energy and with all our will and our power, gets us nowhere. I've been going through this for quite a long time, and it just wears you out. It wears you down, but it's great that it wears you down so that you can see, what was that all for? The process that we're going through, Yahusha wants to clean us out. That process is to bring us close to Him. He wants us to be delivered from the spirit that's in our flesh that controls us, that wicked spirit. And we know His word. We're thinking we can take His word and use it our way. His truth comes to us in so many different ways in our lives. It comes to us showing us the consequences that we have, show us our weakness. This is where Yahusha wants us to go, to get down, to be humble, to lift others up. Give yourself to Him, and He will strengthen you. Thanks for listening. We'll see you again.
There's no other way but the vein. You gotta burn to learn. There's no other way but the vein. You gotta burn to learn. If you ain't got the vein, then shut your face. You ain't qualified to speak. If you ain't faith, the spirit, and the fire, just a controlling free. Oh, there's no other way but the vein. You gotta burn to learn. There's no other way but the vein. You gotta burn to learn. But you can't find the vein without the gate. If you don't see Yahuah metamorph, your eyes are completely dim. Oh, there's no other way but the vein. You gotta burn to learn. No other way but the vein. You gotta burn to learn. Cause the vein is the golden thread of truth that runs right through His word. Yahusha's voice is calling you to know it's Him you've heard. Oh, there's no other way but the vein. You gotta burn to learn. No other way but the vein. You gotta burn to learn. If you ain't thrown your life into the fire to be His chosen bride, if you ain't got behavior purified, you're on the road so wide. Oh, there's no other way but the vein. You gotta burn to learn. Oh, no other way but the vein. You gotta burn to learn. If you ain't got the vein, shut your face. You ain't qualified to speak. If you ain't fit the spirit and the fire, just a controlling free. Oh, there's no other way but the vein. You gotta burn to learn. No other way but the vein. You gotta burn to learn. If you ain't got the vein, shut your face. You ain't qualified to speak. If you ain't got the spirit and the fire, you're just a controlling free. There's no other way but the vein. Gotta burn to learn. No other way but the vein. Gotta burn to learn. Oh, there's no other way but the vein. You gotta burn to learn. No other way but the vein. Gotta burn to learn.